I'm Megan Delisi, and I'm the marketing manager at Rimol Greenhouse Systems. We are a New Hampshire-based commercial manufacturer of greenhouse structures and parts. So when I first joined the team, we didn't have a really solid marketing strategy. We had basically some bits and pieces of marketing that we were paying some other firms a lot of money to try to put together into a strategy. But we felt like we were, paying a lot, particularly for our Google ads and, our Google SEO, and not seeing the results that we wanted. Even just in Googling the Rimol Greenhouse name, we felt like we weren't first listed, we weren't coming up. And that was a change from, what we'd seen 5 or 10 years before, but we really didn't know how to fix that. So we really wanted to come up with, a way to better spend our Google ad dollars and actually see the results we wanted and have more of a holistic marketing strategy. Yeah, so when we did our initial audit of our Google Ads account, it seemed like things were pretty disorganized. We had, campaigns that had been paused for unclear reasons. We didn't have the right keywords set up. It didn't seem like there was really strong daily management going into, optimizing that account. There were a lot of disjointed pieces on the account, and it didn't feel like it was being managed with a strategy in mind. So honestly, really quickly, when you guys, New Hampshire Strategic Marketing, came on board, it felt like we quickly climbed back up some of those Google search rankings without spending more money. And actually, I was just looking at our budgets, and we're spending a little bit less money and getting better results, which is the ideal outcome for any marketing manager. So, it feels like we're just hitting the right keywords and the right audiences. And, when we meet every month, it feels like there's always clear action items that we can take to work on, just chipping away at getting us on the right pages to make sure that, the Rimol name is in front of our customers. Yeah, so we had done a website redesign project that ended up going way over time and way over budget. And that put us in a really frustrating situation where we actually had to pull back on some of our Google Ads campaigns because our marketing budget was just so out of control. And, that was just where we felt like, okay, let's step back, pause, and make sure that we have the right partner for this, because after all that time and money and still not feeling like our web presence was where we wanted it to be, that was a really frustrating situation. So that's where we, decided, like, let's look for a different partner, someone that we feel confident really understands our business and can get on board with the marketing goals that we have without, blowing through that budget. I think it was just through Googling. I remember Bob came across your website, and I want to say there was maybe like a cartoon or like a graphic of some sort. And it was talking about, marketing outcomes, and he printed it out and put it on my desk, and he was like, this is what we need. Can you give these guys a call? And yeah, I think that's how we originally came across you. Honestly, a pretty painless process. It was really quick. I think it was very obvious from our first conversation that you and your team really know what you're talking about. Sometimes I think in working with our previous partners, it felt like Google was as much of a black box to them as it was to us. And, there's always kind of a degree of, the black box Google machine, but it felt like, in your experiences, you'd figured out some strategies that were proven to work. Whereas, sometimes with our previous partner, it felt like we were just kind of throwing things out there and hoping that they worked. Um, so I know that, right from the beginning, that was something that helped us feel really comfortable in partnering with you. And, um, I think the other element of that was that it seemed like you caught on to the needs of our business very quickly, understanding, you know, the kinds of customers we wanted to reach and, um, you know, really just counseling us in the best way to reach those customers. It's the previous partner that we had worked with had a lot of customers that were in different consumer spaces, which, just isn't really a fit for us. Like it's doing B2B sales. And, even though we technically work with some consumers, we're more of a B2B sales brand. And, just figuring out how to reach the right customers across geographies. It seemed like you caught on to that understanding of our business very quickly. Um, and that was, a big plus for us in wanting to move forward. Yeah, I will say, in the last year and last 6 months in particular, our web leads have blown up. I just last month was doing some metrics and we've gotten, um, it was over 150% increase in web leads from where we were at, in September of 2023. Um, which is huge. I mean, those web leads are really the bread and butter of our sales cycle. So we've seen really just that a huge increase month over month in traffic, in quotes people are filling out. Um, it's really helping to fill up that sales pipeline for us. Definitely feels like we're moving in the right direction. We, have big goals to continue growing and so I think just continuing to um, find ways to market ourselves ahead of our competitors and grow our web presence is going to be important. But it feels like we have all the right foundations in place to make that growth happen. I think everyone here is really excited about the direction we're going in, and marketing continues to be a really big focus for us. And it feels like what we're doing is working, and we just want to keep growing off of it. I would say that, Kyle and the team are really easy to work with. They know what they're talking about. Um, every step of the way, it's answering questions, it's providing guidance, it's, looking at metrics that we didn't even know existed. Um, all of those things have just been really valuable for us to be able to grow our presence online and make sure that, we're at the top of our market segment. That's where we want to be. Um, and, it hasn't even been a year in working together, and it feels like, that we've completely flipped the light switch on our marketing efforts. We were just, we were really struggling, and it feels like it hasn't been a lot of work on our end to be able to flip that over. Like you know, we've worked together really seamlessly, and you guys have made it really easy to just, know exactly what we need to do to get things moving in the right direction.